nothing in the world makes me happier than being able to cook for people and just see their reactions and be able to talk with them and hear people's stories. It's my absolute favorite thing in the world.
So that's awesome. And then you opened the tea shop.
Yeah.
So what gave you the courage to be able to actually open up a physical tea room?
Yeah, that's really sweet. I don't know if it was courage as much as insanity, but it, it's funny because I've been talking about it for a long time, and my husband was helping me a lot with doing like farmers markets and that sort of thing. And finally, we were just like, hey, we kind of lost sight of why we were doing this. The whole point is to open the restaurant and get that going. So screw it, let's just go for it. So we started working toward it, and we looked at a bunch of different locations. In this location that we're in, we looked at about 3 years ago. And it's a very old building. It was built in 1930. So when they redid it, because it used to be an art gallery, so when they redid it, they put up all of these walls and partitions. So now there's a multitude of tenants in here, which is a great mix. But they ran into so many issues like old plumbing and outdated electrical. So it took a long time to get it to where it needed to be. So in that time, my husband and I got pregnant with our first little baby girl. And, it just worked out to where we we ended up just like, okay, I guess we're doing both things, and we must be insane, but we're going forward with both things. So essentially we call them our Irish twins. We're like, we had two babies in 2018 to 2019. She was 3 months old when we opened. So, we were over here, I was like pregnant out to here, and we were working in the shop and getting everything up and running. But I think really what it comes down to is if you want to do something, no matter what it is, if it's a business or a family or whatever, skydiving, it doesn't matter. There will never be a right time to do it. You just have to do it.
Yeah, I believe that as well. You just got to follow your heart. And, the timing, people say, yeah, there really is no perfect timing. Sometimes you just have to
Right.
jump right in and do it. Like what I'm doing with this whole setup here, which has been kind of a learning curve for me as I'm going along. And I'm really excited because I've just reached out to different people and asked them if they would like to, share their stories with the rest of the tea fans that we have around the world. So it's been actually pretty exciting. You're my second one.
I love that concept. I saw that you interviewed someone from Australia, and it's really
Yeah.
cool to get that collective together and see that we are all, kind of in it together.
Yeah, and just how their story and how everything evolved for them. So, well, let's see. You grew up in Hawaii, yes?
Yep, born and raised out there.
And what high school did you go to? Of course, that's the question everybody's
Kaleo.
gonna ask, right?
Yeah, Kaleo on the windward side, but yeah, that school has a reputation for sure that I hope to kind of like steer clear from. But it was it was a great experience. I feel like I made a lot of lasting friendships there that still today, X amount of years later, I still maintain those friendships. And I also feel like a lot of the teachers that I had were very positive in guiding me toward what I wanted to do. So even though they didn't have like a culinary program, there are a couple teachers there who knew that that's what I wanted to do. So they were giving me suggestions on like, oh, you should go to KCC. They have an excellent culinary program. You should check out this restaurant. You should do this internship. So stuff like that, I feel like is a little more non-traditional, but just very supportive.
Yeah. So did you go to KCC?
I did. Yep. I was in the Culinary Institute of the Pacific. And I cannot say enough good about that program. I loved it so much. Just the camaraderie that you get with people who, I mean, you're there like 60 hours a week just for classes, let alone like studying and practicing and competitions and everything. So it's a lot. So you need people there who are going through the same madness that you are, and you just become like family.
It's a beautiful campus, and they have the new campus that they built. And they started an apprenticeship program a couple years ago, and I had done their apprenticeship program there. So it was only on Friday. So it was actually one of the things you had to be employed. And it was actually to help people that were in the food industry to strengthen their skills. And it was great. I learned quite a bit. And the funny thing is, the first thing I learned was how to hold a knife properly.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was
It's funny. You don't think that that's a thing, but it
right.
makes a huge
And
difference.
she would always scold me because when I was cutting, because you're going to cut your knuckles, you know, and because I would just like not hold it properly, right? So, I'm still trying to perfect. It's actually a technique holding your, you know. So,
Right.
so what is in your teacup this morning?
So I'm actually drinking bee's knees.
Oh,
So it's a white tea blend that we do with lavender and jasmine, honey granules. It's a very light, delicate blend. I really like drinking in the afternoons because since it's a white tea, it's lower in caffeine. So it's just smooth and kind of rounds out the day. And yeah, it's really nice.
lovely. I like that name, the bee's knees. And one of the things that was very interesting, and you said you kind of quirky, and I don't think it's quirky at all, that you like to talk to your food. And food is very, food is a very, it's healthy, it's nourishing. It's what keeps us obviously alive, and it can either enhance our health or actually, be detrimental to our health. And so talking to your food, and putting some positive energy in there is not a very strange thing at all. So you want to
So
talk a little bit about that?
yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it goes back to being a little kid, like naming our turkeys every year for Thanksgiving. But, I mean, I just try to be very present and intentional when I eat and when I cook, especially because, I eat meat from time to time. I eat, I like to try everything. So especially considering that, like if I'm eating chicken, I'm like, okay, this was a life, and I want to be grateful for what it sacrificed, and I want to be respectful with my ingredients, but also to, like I'm chopping this carrot that was harvested by a farmer and, processed by XYZ. So there's so many hands and so much effort that goes into each thing that you eat, that I always want to try to just be really actively and outwardly grateful. So, it's like I'll be cooking and be like, oh my gosh, shrimp, like you're turning so beautiful pink. I wish you could see yourselves right now. Or like, oh my gosh, onions, you smell amazing. You're so aromatic, and just like, I don't know. It seems weird to me. I get a lot of weird looks from my husband sometimes, but but he'll just roll his eyes at me. But I'm like, well, it makes it more fun too. And it's such a therapeutic thing to cook and create, that I feel like to interact with it is only natural.
Yeah. And here I have a picture of your tea service and what you're offering back here. It looks so yummy and lovely and
Yeah, it's
uh
one of our afternoon tea
fresh. Sorry.
parties. Oh, it's one of our afternoon tea parties.
That is looks just so yummy. And yes. Okay, so let's see. You have this tea. It sounds really interesting. The sticky rice pu'er. What is that?
So that is actually it's made with a Chinese herb that I cannot pronounce, so I'm not going to try and butcher it. But this herb actually infuses with the tea to create it. It really tastes like sticky rice, like you're drinking
Oh,
sticky
ooh,
rice.
ooh,
It's
ooh, ooh.
absolutely amazing. So it's a pu'er tea. It's very just rich and robust, and it's got this natural sweetness to it that you really don't need sugar at all, unless you want to add just a little bit. But it's amazing. I had it for the first time at Townsend's Tea in Portland when I was visiting my sister Ashley, who lives there. And I just remember seeing it on the menu, and I'm like, sticky rice tea, those are two of my favorite things. I have to try this. And just curling up at the window in there and watching it rain outside. And it was like the most delicious thing ever. So now I always ask her whenever she comes to visit, I'm like, okay, go to Townsend's, get me that tea. But it's crazy because it's amazing what you can do with just an herb to create a flavor that you didn't even think you could emulate otherwise.
Right, right. Sounds really good. Okay, so right behind me, this was taken from your website, and you have a fascination with the bees.
I do. Yep. Bumble Tea actually was created to raise awareness about the bees. That's part of our mission. So are you familiar with the epidemic of the bees?
A little. Yeah, a little
I
bit.
can't just say epidemic now because of what's going on. When people are like, which one? But the colony collapse disorder is a very real threat to them and to us, honestly, as 1 in every 3 bites that we eat is due to bees. And that, that includes actual tea plants are pollinated by bees. So we really couldn't do what we do without them. All the additives, the flowers, the fruits, everything is pretty much all from pollinators. So we wanted a way to give back and to thank them for what they do for us. So we donate a portion of our proceeds to the American Beekeeping Federation. So that goes toward education on colony collapse disorder, building new hives, just that sort of thing to try to do our part to thank them.
That's amazing because bees are very essential for the sustaining everything in life.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
responsible for pollinating and it's pretty amazing. I'm shifting back and forth here. Let me see. Okay, that's your tea shop, right?
Yeah, that's us.
And you're in an old building. Just like me, my building was built in the 1800s.
Oh, I love your building.
Yeah,
So
that's right. You sat at the window with your mom.
Yeah, my mom and I came out. Well, I came out to visit with my husband and our daughter for her birthday in November. And my mom and I got this gift certificate for your shop. So we were so excited to come, and it's so cute. I love how when you walk up to the storefront, there are these really beautiful, which is where we sat, those beautiful chairs right in the front window so people can see as they go by. And you have all these cute hats everywhere. I love your shop.
Thank you. Yeah, I just changed the chairs. I had those chairs for over 20 years, and they're the rattan, the king rattan chairs. You can't get them. I mean, you can, but they're like $1,600 to $1,800 just for one of those chairs. I didn't pay for it, that much for it to replace it. So I actually have it at the rattan doctor. They're actually doing some repairs on it. And Pier 1 had these peacock chairs, but they were done wire coated and they were pink.
Oh, cute.
And I got them on sale. I ended up paying only like less than $200 per chair for. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And they had 2 left in Pearl City. So I ran down there and got them. So those are sitting in the window right now. And yeah, they should last probably another 20 something years, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And it just makes it feel more homey when you have unique pieces like that.
Yeah. Well, I love my tea shop, and I'm so sad that it's closed right now. And, I just went in there the other day and I was like, I just can't wait to get back in and start serving afternoon tea again. But, I know that, everybody's businesses have been affected by the pandemic. So how have you been affected, and what are you doing differently?
Well, it's definitely slower business-wise, but everyone who I've talked to locally or nationally or anything kind of says the same thing. Everyone is dealing with that slowdown, I think the hardest part is that I get it. I mean, people are afraid to leave their homes. They don't want to put themselves at risk, which totally makes sense. It's a crazy time that's totally unprecedented. But I think also there becomes the factor of jobs being so scarce and so fragile if you even have them. So people are apprehensive to spend money. I think, one of the things that we're trying to do that kind of ended up being like a blessing in disguise was that we decided, okay, we need to get creative. Like we need to start thinking outside the box. We have to adapt. So, in that regard, we've been doing what I think people want more than just good food is experience. Because if you think about it, everyone's stuck at home. People are going bored out of their minds. I know I am. People have their kids home from school that they're not used to entertaining all day. They're looking for fun activities to do with them. So we started doing tea parties to go. So that has been a big hit. We've gotten a lot of orders for those. So, we'll have people order in the day before, so we make sure we have enough sweets and everything nice and freshly baked for them. So we'll do like little mini scones and mini muffins and finger sandwiches and that kind of stuff. And then we'll send them the actual loose leaf tea so that they can brew it at home. And then that way, like you have your 6-year-olds at home or whatever, and you want to dress up and everything and put on like fun hats and all of that, you can do that in your home and kind of feel more like you're going out. And then also on the experience side, one thing that we're working on right now that I'm super excited about, so it's brand new, it's not done yet, but what we're going to start doing is like masterclass kits.
Oh.
So let's say, people will buy online a little kit with all of the ingredients that they need to make, say, banana bread. So everything will be measured out and everything's separate. They can buy that, go home, and they'll have a link so they can go online, watch a video where I'll walk them through exactly how to make it. So then it becomes like this one-on-one personal cooking class with them that they can do at their own leisure. They can do with family. And it's just kind of a fun way to feel like you're still out and about and doing fun stuff.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah, and I took this photo from your website as well, which is got a really cool website, so everybody should check out their website. And we were doing the to-goes as well, so this is what we did.
Those are beautiful.
And we did it only one day. I was in Colorado in February, and I got in a really bad skiing accident. I tore my ACL, my MCL, LCL on my left knee, my MCL and LCL and torn meniscus on my right knee. So I can't walk. So I actually closed the shop, and we were only going to be open on the weekends. And then we got this whole kind of, social distancing thing. So we came up with the idea to do the to-go like everybody was doing. We did it. It was so good. And it went really, really well. And it was just, I really enjoyed doing it. And then we got this stay-at-home mandate the next day. And it was really difficult for me because I have my injury, so I wasn't able to really get out and move around anyway. So we decided we're just going to close the shop completely. We're just doing some tea orders online. And I just finally figured out how to get that to mail it from my house. Not having to go anywhere. We're just in lockdown, total lockdown here. And I started making masks.
Oh, cute. Oh my gosh. That's adorable.
So this is my tea, my France tea inspired.
That's so cute. Are you selling those online too?
Well, no, you know what? I'm donating them to Project Hawaii, which they help with the homeless keiki here. So I just dropped off 35 to them. I've sent out over 100 masks just to family and friends. So people don't ask me. My sister decided to do this giving project. She thought, I'll just make a couple masks, couple hundred people, 1,500 people. She's making them herself. She has her own manufacturing business, really out of her home because she does. So, she's got all the extra fabrics and stuff. And I'm very limited on what I have. So people are asking me, can they buy, and stuff. And I go, well, really, I'm not, selling. But yeah, they're kind of essential.
Oh, that's so cute.
But I do have a tea one. Oh, wait, let me see. I have this one.
Oh, that's adorable.
And has a little tea charm on it.
Oh, that's so cute.
So that one, actually, I'm giving away 2 of those. And those go to my tea people that are following me on Instagram. So if you want to win it, I said, I have to get to 1,000 followers. And I think I'm like 8 away from 1,000 followers. And at that point, I'm going to be doing a drawing for 2 of these.
That's the perfect occasion.
Yeah. And then I have on the other side, so they're reversible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. And seeing stuff like this, I feel like, considering what a horrible situation is, I genuinely feel like it's bringing out the best in people. I mean, people are being more helpful and more charitable, like you donating your masks. People are becoming more creative and they're honing new skills like sewing, and people are making it, I feel like they're trying to, give a little light to it. Like you aren't just like making this boring black mask that, is trying to protect from the risks outside, which is part of it. But also you're like, you know what, I'm going to make this cute. I'm going to put teacups on it. I'm going to put a little charm here. Like you have to have fun with it because it's the only way you'll stay sane through this. And I love seeing people do that.
Yes. So, well, are you sitting in your tea room now? Is that
I am.
okay? All right. Love the paintings. Are those from different artists, local
Yeah,
artists?
these are actually all from a local artist. She actually used to work at Waxamash, which is one of our neighbors, and she's just this very talented painter. So we have her stuff up. We also have a few other local artists around. So I'm gonna unplug you and take you on a little tour.
Okay. Oh yeah, lovely.
So yes, those are by Melissa Lewis. And then we've got a few here by Maureen Taylor. So she calls herself an unofficial picker. She'll go around to different thrift stores and consignment stores, and she'll find like all of these on the chicken. They're all vintage buttons, all of these eggs and everything, little cage pieces. This is part of a shower door. So she just finds all kinds of different things that otherwise would have been thrown away, and just makes these beautiful pieces of art out of them. This is Justin Key. He is actually based in Henderson, Colorado, so he's pretty close to Denver, but his photos are from all over the world. They're actually a few from Hawaii. And then these are my sisters, so the only non-local, because, you know, nepotism. So she's over in Portland. She's a mountaineer, and she's always off on these crazy adventures. So I love her work so much. Makes me feel like I'm in the mountains. These really fun little guys, our little trolls, are from Laura Klein. She is a teacher at a high school just down the street from us, an art teacher, and she does just these really fun little guys. They all have different names and little personalities. This is from an employee who works at our next door neighbors at the ice cream shop. He does a lot of wood burning, drawing, and watercolor. So yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff. And then I'll just, you know, give you a little spin on the kitchen. So you can hear
very nice.
So it's a nice small little spot, but very cozy. And I really can't wait to have people back in it. I just miss having it full, and just, it feels so much warmer with everyone in here, you know?
And the laughter of people, and people enjoying themselves. And
yeah, it's the greatest sound in the world, you know?
So, well, you know, we've been going now for about 30 some odd minutes.
Time flies.
Yeah, and just want to say hello to Sue Wiley. I see you having your tea there. Hi. Yeah, so thank you for joining me, and I appreciate you taking out the time to do this. And I'm going to do another live on Monday, and I'm going to interview Rick Allen, and he lives in the UK. He owns the Hathaway Tea Rooms in Stratford upon Avon in the United Kingdom, UK, and that's where William Shakespeare and his wife Anne Hathaway grew up. So there's going to be a lot of history there. So that'll be fascinating, and the time difference will be rather interesting, since they are 11 hours, I believe, ahead of us.
Oh, yeah. It's tricky.
Yeah. Australia was a little, not too bad. They were a day ahead, I think, a few hours back. So,
okay, yeah, that's not bad.
Fairly decent. So that will be at 9 a.m. Hawaii time on Monday.
Perfect. I'll be tuning into that.
Well, I really appreciate your time, and thank you for showing us your lovely tea room. And why don't you, pardon?
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So tell everyone how to get a hold of you, and your website and Instagram, Facebook, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to bumbleteashop.com, you can find our online ordering form. Right now we're just doing local delivery and pickups, but soon we're going to have it set up so you can buy merchandise like mugs and stuff like that, and shirts, and then also our loose leaf tea online, so look for that. We are on Instagram and Facebook at Bumble Tea Shop, so you can check us out there. And yeah, otherwise, just thank you so much, everyone, for your support already. And Michelle, thank you for having me. So good to talk to you, and yes. I am you and your shop all the best, because I seriously cannot wait to get back into it.
Good. Well, thank you. And thank you, everyone that came out to listen to us live on Facebook. And we look forward to seeing you all again. And we wish you fond aloha, and mahalo for watching.
Aloha.